Hello everyone, welcome back to Design with me, Ashley D. Today we are going to make these cute graduation fans. My nephew Eli, so sweet, he's graduating from the 5th grade, so I wanted to celebrate him in true Design with me, Ashley D fashion by making these handheld fans. So come along with me on the journey because it's graduation time. So if you know someone who's graduating, you can surely make these fans, and I'm going to talk you through the process. So stay tuned. Okay, so first step, you want to head over to canva.com. You want to pull up a blank template, preferably at 8 by 11, 8.5 by 11. Or if you want it bigger, you just size it to the size that you want. This is what it's supposed to look like at the end. Just giving you guys an example of that. I'm going to show you how to remove the background. You just insert a regular picture. You blow it up a little bit so you can, get it to the size that you want to get it to. And then up in the top left-hand corner right there, you'll see my mouse go there. It says background remover. So that's what you're going to hit to remove the background. And it'll take a few seconds. And now your background's removed. And then you'll click on the picture again, hit background remover, and then you can remove all the extra stuff. So like I'm going to get rid of his, clothing there, and I'm going to try to clean up the neckline a little bit. But to be honest with you, cleaning up the clothing is perfect, but cleaning up the neckline, you don't have to be so perfect with that, because if you do get a little bit of the neckline in there that you don't want, when you go to cut his face out of the actual printout, you can cut off, the things that you don't want if you can't get it accurate or, super close. And I'm kind of showing you an example of this right here. So that I really didn't like. I took too much off. So in a few minutes here, you're going to see I go back and kind of add the little bits that I took off if you can't get it perfect. This is just me showing you an example of that. So don't worry about being super perfect when it comes to trying to get this off of the neckline. All right, so now we're back and it's time to make the cap. So I go to elements, I type in graduation cap, I look through all the ones that I like. I've already pre-selected one just for the example here because I didn't want to make this video super long. So I resized the head to fit really nice down in the hat, which is what I'm doing here. And of course, again, you just pick the one you like, and you can change the orientation, which is what I just did, horizontal or vertical. And then I go through, I didn't like the tassel that was on there because it just didn't go with his school colors. So I erased the part of the tassel that's hanging down. And then here you'll see I'm making just boxes using element again. And I'm coloring them to almost the color of the hat. But when it prints out, it'll all look like one piece. So you want to try to get the coloring as close as possible. So I just made 2 boxes. I turn the orientations of them. So I'm zooming in here so you can see it changed the orientations of them and the color. So it will blend in again with the hat. So that's the last step. I'm also taking this tassel out as well because I plan on, later on in this video, you'll see I brought or purchased tassels from Amazon.com, and I'll make sure I link those below so that way you can get those if you're interested. All right, next thing is I'm putting the font on here. You can choose your own font and color through Canva. If you see up in the top left-hand corner right above his hat, there is a Braille fat face. That's where you can change the font type. You can also change the color of the font as well. So I'm just putting this here for the example. But the final part, as you can see, it says Eli's 5th grade graduation. Also, you want to make sure that you flip your design. If you plan on doing a double-sided fan, you want to make sure you flip your design and your wording as well. So my fan is double-sided, so you want to make sure you have the inverse of your design and your wording as well in order to get the double-sided piece. All right, so the next step is we're going to make these fans. All right, so you need a place to print and some scissors. So I printed mine. I usually shop around between Walgreens, Office Depot, Office Max, CVS. But for this instance, I shopped around at Office Depot. I laminated them just to give them a little bit more durability, but that's totally optional. You don't have to laminate. And then after I laminate, I cut them out, and that's when we're going to paint the sticks off camera. I painted the sticks blue. That's optional as well. The fan sticks you can get off of Amazon.com. All right, so now it's time to assemble the fans. There are some items below that you'll need that I've listed out for you all. I'll make sure to link these down below in the description bar as well. So again, there's my laminated face cards. This is some heavy duty double-sided crafting tape. You can get this from Hobby Lobby. I don't know if I can link this for sure, but that's where you can find it, Hobby Lobby or Michael's. And I'm just putting the tape down. I found that it's easier, guys, to before you unpeel the double-sided part, I found that it's easiest to stick it down first and then work from, corner to corner, peeling it off and sticking the design on top. Because if you pull everything off, if you make a mistake, this is not coming up. So your fans or your design is like stuck together, and if you don't line it up correctly, there's no room for like error or correction. So you want to make sure you start off in sections, taking the backing off and putting the designs together. However, if you do make a mistake and you do not line your design up correctly, then you can always go back in with scissors and kind of clean it up a little bit. So no worries there. But in order to not have to clean that up, it's just a lot easier to, work in sections, like I was saying. Also, be sure not to double side tape the part where you want to stick the handle of the fan, because we're going to put a bead of hot glue right on top of the handle. I think I did it on both sides. I'm not sure. Let's see here. Yeah, I did it on both sides. And then you just stick it in the bottom of the fan and you just press down firmly on both sides. Make sure to not put too much hot glue because you don't want it oozing out of the bottom there. But if it does, you can just clean it up a little bit with your finger there. But just be very careful, guys, because this hot glue is hot. All right, the very last step is to hole punch the fan in the place where you want the tassel to hang. And I didn't want it to hang in his face. I kind of looked at it on the other side of the cap there, and it was going to be in his face. So it looked better on the back half by his hair. So that's where I'm going to stick the tassel. I just loop it through the hole there, and then I push the tassel, the rest of it, the hanging part of it, through the loop, and then I pull it through so it makes its own like knot on itself there. And that's how I got it to stick. And that's the final product. I hope you all like this video. I hope the explanations were simple for you. If you have any questions, certainly leave them below in the comments. Also, tell me how I did, guys. How do you like this fan? Let me know in the comments as well. Stay tuned. I know I promised you guys that I would deliver the Disney parts of our spring break vacation. I promise you guys that's coming up very soon. It's graduation season, and I wanted to go ahead and get the graduation videos out. So I wanted to go ahead and release this one with my nephew's fans. So if you like these videos, definitely subscribe and stay tuned, because the next videos you'll definitely want to see. And that's our Disney vacation. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.